Well, joining me now is One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. Senator Hanson, this is a big issue. It's really blown up, of course, in the last 6 to 7 hours. Let me just take you through a couple of comments that were mentioned today by some of your colleagues, and then you can give us your thoughts. The Prime Minister referring to this particular tweet as the Chinese should be totally ashamed. Foreign Minister Maurice Payne said the tweet was an appalling, disgusting and outrageous piece of social media and was an absolute affront to anyone within the Australian Defence Force. And I thought Penny Wong's comments were also pretty well on the mark. We condemn the action taken by the Chinese government in the strongest possible terms and is deeply offensive. This is not the action nor the behaviour of a responsible, mature international power. I think that comment really sums it up, doesn't it, Pauline?
It certainly does, Peter. You know, it was a photoshopped picture that they put up, and it's from the Foreign Ministry. So it wasn't just a Chinese citizen that's put it up. This is the Chinese government that are putting that image out there. Now, that's on the back of this inquiry where the government, and I've got to say, Morrison came out and really condemned our Defence Force, the SAS, and before they've been on trial, before they've been cross-examined, it was only evidence. So basically, China's taken this up, well, we're going to hit you in the heart, you know, with your defence. And most Australians out there, we love our Defence Force. We support them fully. So they thought they'd come on the attack with this photoshopping of this defence personnel, an Australian defence personnel, holding down a child with a knife to the throat. So I think it was disgusting what they have done. It shows the maturity of the Chinese government, whereas they think they can say and do whatever they want to do. They've got us by the short and curly. To tell you the truth, they really have. We actually, we rely on their export. 30% of our export goes to China, and we import 20% of their product into Australia that we can't buy from anywhere else. Until we wake up to ourselves, the government grows up and starts, you know, supporting and backing our own industries and manufacturing, so we become self-reliant and not relying on China. They will continue to do and say whatever they want to Australia and strong-arm us.
And do you think, Pauline, that Australians should boycott Chinese products leading into Christmas?
Oh, yes, and I'm leading the charge. I got a poster on my office window in my office, and I mentioned it on the floor of Parliament today to a question to Senator Birmingham. And I call on all Australians there. Go and look for those Australian companies and businesses. Your wrapping paper, you can go online, you can buy it from an Australian company. If you pick up products made in China, look where your furniture comes from. Look at IKEA, look at Kmart, look at your clothing. And if you can, not buy that, don't buy it. Let's send a clear message back to them. Unless we take the strong stance, I know people are going to say, but it's hard to find Australian product. I know that, but you're going to send a clear message to them and to those businesses that are buying these Chinese products and putting them on our shelves. And I'd love to send a clear message to Woolies and Coles and those other, companies that put out so much of Chinese product.
Pauline, this all goes back, I think, to sort of March and April when we had the audacity to question how the coronavirus emerged out of Wuhan. I mean, we've led the international charge on this, and we've been given a big tick by the United States. We've been given a big tick by the United Kingdom. But it's the obvious thing to do. And I mean, China shouldn't be opposing our very strident prosecution of how this particular virus occurred, because no one wants this virus to happen again. If this virus happens again and it's even worse, we're back to square one.
Exactly right, Peter. They don't want to be questioned over anything, and that's where it all started. And now they're saying no one comes into the South China Sea. That's our territory. We've made these islands there. You are not allowed here. You're not welcome. That's an international travelling channel. So ships should be able to go in there. But like I said, the stronger China gets, its tentacles spread throughout the world, and I'm glad the government's bringing legislation now to actually, stop this, that states and territories cannot just go and sign deals with China or any foreign entity, and the rest of us don't know about it. So I'm glad they're tightening the reins a bit too little too late, but at least we're heading in the right direction.